call it to order and do it officially. Peter, do you want to read the minutes or just?
Myself at home.
I don't really want to read them, they're really long,
Okay.
aren't they? From what
Yeah.
Relying on the floor.
So if there's no corrections or
We're down
additions.
to no subs.
Nobody else coming?
Yeah, so we got 5 we can play.
Yeah, we've been told we have
You're
a,
gonna have to be play card.
all the work is done, so I think we're down to the point that we've got who we've got. Technically just 7 o'clock.
Is it?
7:05. All right, I'll call this meeting to order if I may. Would the secretary read the roll, please?
Robert King. Here. Mary Cronin, absent. Mary Comstock.
Here.
Paul Swenson. Here. Joan Mead, absent. Ed Torian, absent. Carlo Morano.
Here.
Present. Okay.
Okay, and everybody received a copy of the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Seeing none, we will accept them as read. Now's the time for public comment. Mr. Brooks.
On behalf of the public, because we've got to see it on TV and in person, thank you for all the work. It was mind-boggling how much effort goes into this, and I noticed Mr. King's going on in his public service right away, but we do appreciate the fact that although everybody has their own opinion, obviously, the fact that people spend so many hours brooding over it and thinking about it and actually not just doing things arbitrarily, so it's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from the public would like to address us? Mrs. You may do it right from there.
You're talking about the vacancies on the thing. They've had vacancies filled all the years I've been watching the council, back since '91, without too many problems. So hopefully you don't make too many drastic changes to it. You just kind of stay with the sweet and general stuff of the number of days type of thing. But
That's,
I
suspect
would like
that's
to
what
see
we're
there be
going
a way that an independent could get on there also, but I don't know how to do it. So even when you run, it doesn't do any good because you can't garner enough votes. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Would Mayor Boughton like to address us?
I would, Mr. Chairman. I just stopped by, this is the second time I've had the opportunity to address you folks. Once a year invitation now at your last meeting, and I did attend all the public hearings with you as well to listen to the public and provide some comment. But, I just want to stop by to thank you for all the work that you did over the last 16 or 17 months. It's been a really exhaustive process. I think you've done a really marvelous job at dissecting really is the constitution of our city, if you will, and it's much, much appreciated. I will tell you that I'm also proud of how nonpartisan this group really has been. This has probably been, and I mean no disrespect to any of our volunteer boards and commissions, but one of the hardest working groups I've ever seen. And certainly the fact that you've been able to put aside any political things, but just kind of debate the issues on its merits. And there's been really good, positive conversations about the pros and cons of a lot of stuff that you talked about. And it didn't break down along party lines or whatever. It broke down about what each person felt was best for the city, and that's what charter revision is supposed to be all about. So I just want to thank you for that. And I also just want to note it for the record, because sometimes this process has been maligned, I think, really unfairly, that this particular commission is operated with the utmost of integrity, that no individual or person has influenced the decision-making that's going on in here. It's only the second time I've been here, and I didn't want to be with you, but I wanted you to make your own decisions. And so I think it's important that as you all walk out of here tonight and present this report to the council, that you recognize that your decisions were based on what you thought was best for the community and whatever position that you took on whatever the issue of the day might be. And that's something that each of you can hold your heads high for. I'm also doubling each of your salaries, so you're all set there. It's an exciting time for you. And, but I did want to just stop by and say thanks. I really appreciate it. Rick, thank you for the work that you've done, kind of shepherding this whole process. And you've probably written a million different drafts of language on this project, and it really has made a difference. You guys, if adopted by the voters in the fall, will be the modern day, kind of creators of our founding fathers of our city constitution. And that's pretty cool. You're going to be able to say, I did this, and I know that document inside out. So congratulations, great job by everybody, and we'll bring it to the council tomorrow night. I really don't know what some of the outcomes will be on some of the stuff, but I think in general, the council will be very supportive. And I know on behalf of them, I know Joe Carlos here too, and we want to say something a little bit later, and I just want to say thanks for everything. So keep up the good work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Mark, if you could, just a minute or two, just, one, having done this now, and doing this for 16 months, it doesn't look like we have a big group here, but we had most everybody virtually every meeting. And we really did do I think, a very nice job without getting into the partisan side of the politics, which I thought was interesting for this building. But I specifically want to thank Rick, because this was a non-starter without his work. I mean, he really guided us through it and gave us the legal opinions. It couldn't have been done without it. But everybody on here carried their weight in some way. And as you know, I'm in the stock market business. This was a bad year to do what I do for a living without Bob and without Peter doing their stuff. They did the work of the chairman when I couldn't be here. So we really had a lot of people that did great things, and we had a great group. But the one thing that struck me as I got to the end of this was the courage it took for you to do this, because you've handed a political issue into the next election if people choose to make it political. You didn't have to do this. This charter wasn't up. There was nothing wrong with it. And you could have just not done it at all. So I was pretty impressed as I got through this, and I realized you were really opening up a Pandora's box, so to speak, and could perhaps be handing people political issues that you didn't need to do. So I was impressed with what it took for you to even organize this thing for us. So we had a good time. We think we did good work, and we hope we haven't laid any landmines for you as you move into the
Mr.
future.
Chairman, as I move into the election cycle, I'm going to tell folks to go and vote your conscience. We're asking you what you think. It's not about what I think. It's not about what you think. It's not about what the council think. It's about what the electors and the voters of this city want and what they think. And they'll certainly speak through the vote on election day. So that's democracy. That's the most basic thing that all of us strive for. So good job.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thank you, Rick.
It wasn't doable without you, no question. Okay, agenda items.
So we have a final report.
Yeah, Rick, do you want to lead us through this thing?
Here are your copies. I brought a few extra. 3 and 2. And here are the summaries.
Well, this is really hot off the press.
Yeah.
It is hot off the press.
Yeah, if anyone's cold, I'll grab a copy. Did you guys all get summaries?
No.
So there wasn't much to change in the summary.
I added the reference, perhaps prematurely, to 4-3 dealing with chief of staff, which I get to vote on. But I made an assumption, and if my assumption proves to be wrong, then I'll give you corrected pages. But all right, let's.
So you,
walk
in
through it.
this document is
It's
included in here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jim Lance.
Last time we met, you addressed 7 items. 6.
Hey, Jim.
6 items with the chief of staff. That makes a total of 7.
Right.
1, the length of terms you chose to leave alone. So that knocked that one off right off the bat. The first one I believe you had substantive review of was 3-4.
Oh, yeah.
Public speaking. Let's take a look at that one. And I corrected the typographical omission so that now, as you'll see towards the end of 3-4, there's a reference to residents or taxpayers. That was the way you had voted.
Yes.
And I deleted the reference to authorized representatives.
That's how we
Everybody all set with that one?
We're all set with that one.
All right, the next one was 4-2, dealing with donations. It becomes 4-1 You should be able to identify it starting at the bottom of page 12 of the draft. And as you'll see, I think we discussed it briefly in any event. There were no changes to the language that I presented to you last time, which included the addition of services and the addition of an aggregate $1,000 trigger in any one fiscal year by any one donor.
So just as we're clear on that, we can accept, the city itself can accept more than $1,000 in aggregate in any year, but it requires the approval of the council.
That's correct.
Okay.
And any series of gifts can be accepted up until the moment when a gift exceeds $1,000 in the aggregate
From one particular
from
donor?
one donor
Okay.
in a particular year.
That's 4-1, you said.
4-2, bottom of page 12 is where it starts. Was 4-2, we propose that it be changed. The next one you consider was vacancies, 2-6. If I recall correctly, you voted to take no action to change this
Or
language.
change.
Yes. In other words, leaving intact the language in your draft report. And just to complete the record, my sense is that the confusion perhaps, and maybe that's the wrong word, that existed with respect to this language is somewhat improved or ameliorated by virtue of the fact that we've deleted some language in here that really related to 4-year terms when there were no 4-year terms. But in any event, it certainly is clearer now that there is no either or, it's just a period of time, namely 60 days is what we're proposing. So that's the period of time that the council has to fill a vacancy. The next section you dealt with was 7-8. That relates to sewer and water improvements.
So essentially, we're back to the original language of the charter.
You're back to the original language of the charter with the sole exception being that we changed the title of the common council. And similarly, there was a deletion of the reference to public improvements in 7-10. The next, and perhaps last section that you modified was 7-10, dealing with borrowing.
Peter, this is our last chance to put a percentage basis in there. Now think long and hard about this.
You're out of order. You weren't recognized by the chair.
Mr. Chairman, can
No,
I
really,
address the
you
commission?
Any questions on any of this so far?
No, that looks good.
That's it.
So the only matter we have to vote on is the title, the position of chief
Yeah,
of
and that is
staff.
section
4-3.
4-3?
Is that the only place it's in there?
It's on the, or the soon-to-be 4-2.
Yeah.
Bottom of 13.
So that's just a change in the title.
Wouldn't we love to take a lot of this stuff out of here?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that the title of administrative assistant be changed to that of chief of staff as it appears in what we've now renumbered to the section 4-2 of the charter.
Okay, motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Discussion? As you know, this is making virtually no change other than a name change. And we've had administrative assistants, and we've had people that use the term chief of staff. No other comments? Well, then I'll try your minds. All in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Are there any, do we then need to, do we need to approve the entire draft at this point? Peter, would you like to make a motion?
I'll move that we approve the final draft report, or the final report as prepared by council dated March 9th, 2009.
Okay, second?
Paul?
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, this report represents a culmination of a lot of work on everybody's part. I want to thank you for serving as chairman and guiding us along this path. And while I may not agree with all the changes that were made in this document, I do know that my voice was heard. I believe, I think it was considered and it was debated. And I thank you for helping that along in that process.
Thank you. Any other comments or? Well, Dr. Cronin, you weren't here. The mayor did come in to thank us. Well, but I did let him know that I thought everybody here should serve on other boards and commissions, because the fact is this was an easy board to work with. There were no problems. Some members of the public seem to be a little nettlesome, but we'll let that slide. But I do want to tell you, I think we did a great job, but more importantly, everybody here carried more than their weight and helped a great deal. So it was easy to run it, and people picked up and helped a great deal. So it was fun. I'm never going to do it again, but I would certainly be.
You have all this
I would
experience
certainly
in
be
leadership.
more than happy to do this to work on other things with any one of you at any time. So thank you all very much. Any other questions or comments about this? Joe, did you want to say anything to us, or were you just witnessing history?
Thank you very much again. And thank you for all your efforts, as I said last week. It's not an easy job, and I know from where I sit at times, it's definitely not an easy job. I know the position you're in, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you putting yourselves forward and accepting this into this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's easy to do it when you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Just a question. The next step in this, that it's being presented to the Common Council tomorrow night?
That's correct.
Are you going to have a letter of transmittal to go along with it?
As a matter of fact, I have a draft letter here that I thought I would hand out, but we should approve this first.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Any more discussion on the document itself? Seeing none, I'll try your minds. All in favor of
I think we
approving?
already did that, didn't we? Take a vote?
No, we did not.
No, we did that on the
Beg
changes.
your pardon.
So this is our final draft. All in favor of approving this draft? March 9th, 2009, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Remember I told you how people helped me out and get through this, as busy as things got? Mr. King helped draft a letter that I partially edited. If this makes sense to you, we take no pride in authorship other than that, so we will take your inputs. But this would be the letter that we would send along to the council and to the mayor. And I hope you don't mind my edits on it. And the reason we need to do this is, I do need a signed letter that this has to be signed in order to send it along. And since their meeting is tomorrow night, we better get this done now.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to belabor this point, but the last sentence of what is the second paragraph of the letter, therefore we recommend the question of 4-year terms be presented to Danbury's voters at the election, and that we let the voters decide the fate of this issue. I think that sort of goes beyond the purview of our commission as it's authorized under the statute to act. I mean, we report back to the appointing authority, which is the council, and it's the council that decides how to ship things off and package it. I just don't think that's an appropriate recommendation to make.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else?
I would question why. Why is it not appropriate to make a recommendation?
It's open for discussion. Shall we recommend that it go to the voters, or?
I think that, it is something that we can add perspective to as to, our thought process. And I think that was really some of the remarks made at last week's meeting, that some of the commissioners felt that it would be well to place it in front of the public. It certainly is the council's within their authority to decide however they want to proceed with the 4-year term. They can reject it entirely, or they can spin it off as a separate question. And I think that's what we were trying to get here, was our thought is it should be spun off of it. We're not directing them to do it in a way we're suggesting they do it. If the language sounds strong, then I think, by all means, we should change it. But I think the idea should remain, Peter.
Any other questions or comments about that? Paul?
I think Peter's right. I don't think we technically have the ability as a commission, the legal ability, to suggest or recommend. All we had to do is put on their recommendations. Also, I think it can be viewed as that we gave up our right to decide this issue, and we just said, oh, we're going to punch this pilot this thing and send it off to you guys. And I don't, and in that respect, I think it goes to, it takes away from whatever work we did on this issue. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, because I understand the idea and the thought of the recommendation, but I think it's passing the buck, and it's what it looks like to me. And I know it wasn't intended that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we either stick to our guns, you stick to your vote or you don't stick to your vote, and I know this kind of makes us waver, and I don't think it supports what we did.
I agree in a sense that it makes us look like we're not going to decide it at all. It's too much of a, you know what I mean? It makes us look like, I agree with Paul. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I have a couple other things too.
keep going.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines up from the bottom of the first page. The commission believes those issues.
Uh-oh.
All right, there's one.
There's some comments missing, because of the
And on the second page, 3 lines up from the bottom, there's 2 periods after a
Well,
Which one?
our secretary would correct all of those things once we got this to its final form. If you were,
We were just talking about content? Oh.
yeah, no. I will say, I was trying to edit
That's
it,
right.
and I ran out of time because I had a flat tire on my way home tonight. So, all right. Peter, do you have those corrections? Because where's the those? Because I do.
I know where it is.
Have we decided, though, what we're going to do with regard to this term thing?
No, I don't think we've decided that yet, but I mean, do we need to do it by motion, or can,
No, I don't know that we need to
I mean-
vote by motion.
Well, this is a letter, it's an enclosure.
it's just, yeah.
So what difference does it really make?
I mean, the fact is,
It's really coming from you.
do you feel strongly? Because I would
No, I
strike
hear
it.
what Peter and Paul are saying, and I am sensitive to that. With regard to the legal issue, I don't think there's anything legal or illegal about recommending to the Common Council this is what we suggest. It's a suggestion, it's not a,
There's nothing legal or illegal about it.
Right.
It's just my point.
yeah, it's just how you feel about it. I wouldn't want to come on, as strong and almost dictating to them. That's why I said if there's some other way of phrasing it. But I would rather eliminate it than create that impression.
Yeah.
I would just prefer to eliminate.
Let's strike that then. And the fact is, having spoken to some members of the council, I think that they're aware that that may be one of the options that they have. It may be a standalone.
So we crossing off from therefore?
Therefore, we recommend that the question
Okay,
for
that last
your
sentence.
terms be presented to Danbury's voters.
Right.
Okay? Anything else?
Are we still in content?
English is my second language.
The commissioners wish to thank the town of Dalton.
The commission wishes, and the
The
commission is,
wishes.
right,
Either one, no.
Commission wishes for the commissioners wish.
that's your mistake.
Make up your mind.
Hey, last week I had a chef here instead of the chief of staff, so I'm improving. I'm a terrible, I'm a terrible typist.
What happened? I mean, yeah, I know. Well, the other thing I would do is, I would like to list all the commission members. And I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get to the second page at this point. Okay, any other changes? Grammar?
Well, you were
Go ahead.
talking about the word recommend, and your last sentence says hopefully the change is recommended here. So are we saying something that we're crossing out, and then still saying it, what are we doing with it? These are all recommendations to begin with, aren't they? The
So
way-
we take out the word recommended, changes herein will provide the necessary tools for its government to
And
meet
you
its
got it
Where
also
are we?
on the first
We're
paragraph.
in
You got
the end
recommend
of the
all over the
last.
document. Fix it.
Man, I'm really sorry. Man, I'm really sorry we went down
If
this
you're taking it
road.
out of one place, you
You know,
either have to
people
take
wanna
it out
go
or put it
home.
in there.
We don't-
First paragraph says, the common council accepts those it's from them.
It's from them, they
Yeah.
sent us the recommendations.
All right, is there anything else that you want to change?
Council's
I want to go home.
It's all
Sign it.
recommendation.
All right, I'm good.
I
You
recommend
good?
you go home.
All right,
That's it with those changes?
yes.
Fine.
Anything else we need to do?
I
Mr.
just want to
Gotcha?
say, I want to say one thing. I am most proud of the preamble. I think Mary did a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
And then Rick, you did a great, everybody, but I'm really proud of that preamble. I really-
It says everybody here did a great deal. Some people,
The council needs to address this.
uh-oh.
This document that you've been working on for 17 or months or so primarily arose as a result of charter revision back in 1977. It was at that time that the drafters thought it a good idea to create a full-time, the position for a full-time attorney to the city. Up until then, corporation counsels and the assistant corporation counsels were all part-time. That was me. I started here the following July. In July of 1978, I was hired by the current mayor's father, Donald Bowden, when he was mayor. And it started, for me, a 30-year exercise in the review of the document that you've been looking at. Some sections I admired, some sections I didn't understand. Some sections were incomprehensible. But overall, I think it was a good document. It was a document that I grew to admire in its simplicity, really. It's a relatively short document, as you know, given the challenge that it faced that became obvious to you over 18 months. And so this was my first chance, really, to take a somewhat active role in trying to improve on it. For 30 years, I made notes in the margins of this document. I still carry around this hideous thing. And looking back on them in preparation for your meetings, it was almost, not to sound too terribly maudlin or anything, it was a walk down memory lane to try and recreate for myself the tensions that caused me to write in the margin. And I just want you to know that for me, it was an extraordinary opportunity. And I got a chance to work with an extraordinary group of people. I think you all came to the table here with, an understanding of what this document was, even if you didn't understand the nuts and bolts of it. But over a period of more than a year, you grew to understand this document better than 99.9% of the people in this town. And the consequences of what you did will stay for beyond the next charter revision, because the changes that you made are that good. You did a great job. You were extraordinarily thoughtful. The conversations you had over what bonding limit ought to apply in this town, being torn by people who, in their hearts, felt that it should be not this way, but that way. And this and that didn't always agree. And you struggled through that, you thought through that in a dignified and really an admirable way. I really enjoyed it. I admire you all for the time and effort and intelligence you brought to this process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Rick, one of the questions always in my mind was, I wonder what Rick thinks of this. I didn't realize that you were the first corporation counsel in the city, and that you had that intimate knowledge of this. But it was clear that you really knew the document, and most of us, what we struggled with, not having been involved in city government, some of us have been on Board of Ed or some commissions, but not in day-to-day operations, we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, and we really didn't understand, I don't think, how to go about doing this. And you clearly had that, but you never let us know how you felt about the things we were doing. So, as much as you knew about it and understood it, you would have probably been the best person to be on this commission, and yet you didn't tell us you really should be you should be doing this. And so you really were an honest arbiter in this. And as I said before, it wouldn't have happened without you. So thank you. Very nice. If you're praising us.
Great career.
So in the next 10 years, you look at 9 other.
That's right. That's right. You know when you'll be doing it next.
We'll be watching the YouTube.
Yeah. Is there anything else that needs to come before this commission?
Only, I will file this in the city clerk's office, in the town clerk's office tomorrow morning.
And the requirements for my signature on something, or can
No? Have a letter.
just this letter? But we're not going to have a clean copy of this.
We'll just type it and leave no signature on it. We'll just put your name at the top.
We can do that. Okay. All right. Great, because I thought last time they
No,
don't.
that's okay.
Good.
Also, she wants me to.
I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mary Comstock, a second?
Somebody's going to second that. We want to go forward.
Yeah, that's, motion's been made and seconded that we adjourn. Any discussion?
It's been a pleasure.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Commission's done. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, sorry, Dr. Cronin.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Peter, we're both on time.
Good deal. What time's the meeting? 7:30.
Marta is 7:30.
7:30. 7:30.
To next 7.
It was,